It's blowing my mind to be sitting on this set right now.
Us too.
I don't blame you. That's the thing. When you care as much as the fans out there, and I have a feeling that people are already getting that sense from all of you, so I guess on behalf of all of them, I appreciate it. So every episode of Close Up begins with something called The Essentials. It's just a couple of rapid-fire questions about loving movies.
Oh, God.
First question I have for the four of you is, what movie do you quote the most?
Ooh. Best in Show. Or First Wives Club.
Best in
Oh,
Show?
First Wives.
Both of those. Yeah, both of
First
those.
Wives Club is, yeah, that's one.
Sorry, you said rapid fire, and I really took that to heart.
Yes.
I was Best in Show.
First Wives Club is it for me.
What about
and
you?
obviously The Color Purple.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But Best in Show, you also?
Best in Show.
Best in Show.
For her.
And you said?
First Wives Clubs.
First Wives. You know, I've never
Club.
seen that. I've
One
never
club.
seen First Wives Club.
You've got to see it.
All right.
It's so good.
I will. I'd love to see that.
It's
What about
amazing.
you guys?
You go.
Me? The Lion King. Disney has a soft spot in my heart, so I yes. Every time Mufasa talks, come on. I sometimes have to whisper it to myself.
What does he say?
Encourage myself.
What does he say? What do they say in that?
Remember who you are. You are my son and the one true king. Everything the light touches. Things like that. Yes. Or Hakuna Matata.
I don't even know what to do
It means
with that
no worries.
information. I'm trying to process.
And you imagine, when you quote it, you imagine it being said to you?
I imagine, yes, the universe saying, go.
The most quoted film for me is Devil Wears Prada. Yeah. Why is no
What is yours?
Why is no one ready? Who says that? The Meryl Streep?
Miranda? Yes.
Miranda Priestley.
We need yours.
You know, there are too many to mention, but, you know, Godfather.
Mm-hmm.
You know, any situation in life can be solved by some line from The Godfather. Some say.
I got one right back for you.
What?
Life finds a way.
Ah.
I'll come back to that in a minute. My second question for you guys in Essentials, and I feel like this is a tee-up for the two of you, because I know your answer. If you had to get a movie-inspired tattoo, what would you pick and why?
Well,
I mean,
we
we
are
have
covered
79 of them at this
in
point.
Wicked One. We are covered.
We have a lot.
We started
You have,
at the very beginning
yes, with
with,
WGE.
and on the back
on
of
the
our
back
things, we have,
heart.
I have E in a heart,
I
and you
have
have G in a heart. That
So-
was the first round.
Yeah.
You got that once you started this,
We
for
got
this.
that
For
right
this.
after
Right.
Popular and What Is This Feeling?
That's right.
And then
But what do you,
Hello.
WGE?
You don't want
Well,
to
Okay,
well,
no,
can't
I
tell
can't
them
tell
that.
know. Okay, never mind.
You were
You
there
could-
for
you
it.
I know what it is.
But we
I
can't
okay,
tell
we're not-
you
okay.
that.
Cool.
Sorry.
It's
Hi.
It's TMI.
it's the word, the letters WGE. Don't ask. Just don't even think about it.
Okay.
There's no point. Don't worry.
What tattoo are you getting?
I'm going to get,
Oh my God.
probably today,
Okay.
on my, covering my whole front,
Thank
The
you.
whole thing.
yeah, a picture of Cynthia.
Oh
Me?
my God, I
Yes,
have that.
with your arms and fingernails finally going down.
Oh, fab.
And on the back, Ariana.
Great.
I guess it's back.
The back.
That's so
Just
dope.
do that. Jeff sandwich.
Where's my, where am I? Like, what's my?
Maybe I should switch it. Maybe there's one side. You're both on a side.
Yeah.
Oh,
So you're
really?
both, yes, joining
So, like,
hands across.
And our eyes are each nipple.
Okay, you said it.
John,
Good
can
idea.
you top this?
Hi, Ariana.
Are you?
I'm an ET guy, so I'll be right here. And he has the little glowy thing on Elliot's heart.
I
Yeah,
like that.
would do
I like that.
God, I'll be right. Well, he says, I'll be right here.
Yes. I'll be right. Yes.
Jurassic Park. I got it right here. It says,
You
hold
do?
on, hold on to your butts. Sam Jackson wrote it himself.
Wait, there?
I
You have
swear.
it?
Yes, boy.
She has a Jurassic Park tattoo on
What?
on her buttock.
Not on
No,
my butt.
no,
It's right.
Your thighs.
It's right
What is it?
here.
What does it
and
say?
it says, hold on to your butts. Written
Yeah.
by Sam Jackson.
Oh my God.
You didn't get the one where he's sprawling out with his shirt off?
come
That's
on.
the one.
In all
us.
honesty, I have a cat named Malcolm, so I feel
So
like I
can I.
tick the box for both
Wow.
characters. All right,
Or
here's
I'd get the water drip, like right here.
Don't be shy.
classic.
Show
Little
us.
thing.
Classic. Here's a big question for all four of you, because one of my absolute favorite things about
you.
Wicked is that it's a story that's made so many people out there feel
Give me
seen.
one sec,
It's a story
guys.
that calls for
We all
concern.
got into the van. I'm
Gotta
one of
check
5, so
something.
there's 7 of us in a car. We go to the movie theater, and it's for Joylette Club. And we watched it. I had no idea. It was, very dramatic for a young child to watch, but we thought it was hilarious to see, like, our aunties and our uncles up there. It seemed like they were just a part of the family. We had dim sum after, like a 4-hour meal, and just joked about all the quotes and all the things. And we just felt like, wow, okay, we're cool enough to be like on screen, our family. So that was the first time I really felt it.
There's like a TV movie version of a film called Pollyanna, and it's called Polly. It stars Felicia Rashad in it, and it's a musical, and it's one of the most joyful pieces I have ever seen, and I know all the music by heart, and it's one of those movies that made me feel really, really seen. It was about just a community coming together to celebrate this one little girl who was just bright and sparkly, and it felt, I think I saw it when I was like 10 or something, and I loved it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, I should see that.
It's good, it's good.
So sweet.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think. I don't know. What would yours be?
Mine would be, I saw this question possibly being asked today, and so I did my homework, and I looked because I have a list of movies that I saw when I was a kid, that I went to the movie theater and saw. So I looked at my list of 30 movies that I've remembered, and I remembered a couple more. But then I remembered one that I'd seen that I had put on the list called Enter Laughing. You probably don't know it. It came out, I saw it today, looked it up, in '67. So I was born in '52, so I'm 15 years old. And it's about it was Carl Reiner's first directorial effort. And it's about a kid kind of in school who looks a little bit like me. Renee Santoni played it. It was the first thing he ever did, if you know him. And, you know, and he's got a family, and he wants to be an actor. He's decided he wants to be an actor, so he, you know, tries out for the local theater, and it's a coming-of-age story, and he's just kind of getting interested and involved with girls.
Are you
and
what?
then I saw it again today. I started to watch it. I'm halfway through it. I like it. Wow. And I can imagine how it made me feel, hey, that's kind of me. By that time, I was obsessed with, I've got to be an actor. I was starting to, you know, that's it. So it was kind of like my...
Sorry, guys. Give me one sec.
It's as sweet and pure and adorable as you are.
Indeed.
Oh,
And your answer
that's so cute.
is...
My real one would be probably The Wizard of Oz. And I
There you
think,
go.
not to be like whatever, but yeah, I don't know. When I was younger, I just loved watching Judy sing, and I don't know. I thought it was such a beautiful escape, and I loved it, and my family loved it too, and it was something we loved to watch together, and it just inspired me.
I love
remember
that.
studying her and how she like held herself when she sang in her little gingham dress, and I loved it.
Amazing. All right, now leaning hard into the making of your movie, Cynthia and
Hi,
Ariana, I'll start
guys.
with the two of you because the relationship between your characters is basically the beating heart of this story. So can you each tell me something about the other as a scene partner that you really appreciated? And tell me something about the other as a scene partner that you really appreciated and contributed to making that so powerful in your film?
Oh my God.
That's a big question, isn't it?
I mean,
She's very patient with me.
likewise. I think we're both. Ooh, don't look at me like that. I feel like, I mean, you're such an incredibly generous actress.
I can't do this right now.
No, I'm just saying, and human being, and I don't know. I think you make it very easy.
Yeah, so do you.
I'm very
As
spoiled.
well. Patience.
And love.
And love. Yeah. We make a lot of space for each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we communicate really, really well.
Yeah.
Really beautifully. And if one of us needs something, we almost already know.
Yeah.
We don't have to say it or ask or anything. Like, we can we learned how to read each other so well, so early, and just, I don't know.
Yeah.
And love each
I feel
other.
like it got to a point where if we would know enough or know soon enough that the other didn't need to ask because the other would already have asked
Yes.
for it.
I
you know,
just,
for whatever we needed. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
from my perspective, I always felt like they were conjuring up something amongst themselves. And they were always conspiring something, and I just had to catch it for the audience to
I'll follow up on that so people can look out for a moment like that. Can you give me an example of a time when they surprised you with their collaboration?
Every day was a surprise in their collaboration because there was so much truth behind it. They were so present. And you don't know when you come into a movie and you have two giant stars and they're coming together that everything's like organized and put together and manufactured, and none of that. everything was messy, and each take was different from the next. Depending on where that character was at that time, they would be those characters from the moment they walked into the set. So I think that's where the magic of movies comes in. When they do something that on any other day would sound ridiculous, you couldn't write in a script, but just happened. And so I was always just playing catch up, to be honest. If you were talking about a very specific moment in Defying Gravity, and I'm not spoiling anything because it's sort of in the trailer, they have this moment where they're saying goodbye, and they're looking at each other, and they can't say goodbye. They just have to talk as if nothing's going to happen, and yet this is the last time they may see each other. And she's tying on, like a mother tying on a tie for her son going to prom, and they're just looking at each other, and they almost can't look at each other because they'll just fall apart. And finally, they make eye contact, and they actually calm down when they look at each other, and Cynthia winks at her. Which, again, written down would sound crazy, but it's just so natural and real that we couldn't go to any other take.
I live for moments like that. Now I can't wait to go home and watch a trailer over and over and see that.
That was real things.
Jeff, for you, I have watched you do absolutely everything and then some on the big screen, but I love in this industry how with each film, like, it's always an opportunity to continue to evolve your craft. So can you tell me an acting first that even you experienced while making Wicked?
Well, I had never before been filmed while singing, and have a harness on me. You know, just shooting me up into the air about as high as, you know, the height of this ceiling, and then down again. I'd never done that before.
I'll take that. I'll take that. So we're lucky enough to be sitting here today talking to the three of you as far as the ensemble of the film goes, but this cast is absolutely stacked with hugely talented people. So can you each name someone else in the ensemble who might not be on the top of everyone's minds right now, but when they see the film, their work is going to take everyone's breath away, and we need to know their name now?
Marissa Bodie.
Ethan Slater.
Bowen Yang.
You all know Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah, we
Breathtaking.
and
but-
Bronwyn.
And
Bowen and Bronwyn together,
is
the
so
two of them.
good.
Hilarious.
Marissa and Ethan, everyone.
He's on everybody's mind because he should be, but Johnny Bailey.
Oh, yes, Johnny Bailey. This guy,
he's the best.
wait until you see
It's just
Dancing Through Life.
incredible.
He's unbelievable.
It's
in this
unbelievable.
film.
Is that him doing this?
Yes.
That is insane.
Oh, he did all of that.
He did all
My
of
lines
it.
are
I
signed.
know.
And the books.
We don't
It's on
cut
the-
away. He flips the
he?
thing, and he... I don't know
Has
how he
he
didn't...
always been able to do that?
Can I
Yes.
just debunk something ahead of time?
Yes.
There's a close-up of his feet opening the books and
That is
sliding them.
him.
Those are his.
That is him.
Really?
True.
Let the record know, like,
Just in
no.
case
Let me set
anyone
the record
starts,
straight. True.
that's him.
He's
That's
an Olympic
Florida.
dancer, 8th degree black
That's
belt
him hanging off
tumbler,
that in the library, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
and
so
singer.
crazy.
And that's him
Yes.
singing.
Yeah. I'm just, he was just.
Oh, we have to shout out Sharita, our librarian.
Oh, yeah.
Sharita. Can I say sorry, one more thing.
Oh my God.
Sharita learned every piece of choreography, even for the pieces she wasn't supposed to be in.
Yes, yes.
And she would like incorporate her books because she was playing the librarian, and I was like, you better be method girl.
And also
I'm
for the diehard theatre people in the UK,
Yes.
if you know the Strallons, you'll know Sharita.
Yes.
You should know Sharita because the Strallons don't exist without her.
Icon.
Icon.
So you see how this is to shoot a movie with all of them at the same time in one frame.
You've
It
asked
goes
3
on for a
questions.
long time.
You really feel the enthusiasm, and it's important to me as a diehard fan, and I know it's really important to a lot of people out there. So thank you for putting everything you have into making this movie and the one we're getting after.
Yes.
I appreciate your time today. Congratulations. That's it. We're done. I gotta
Oh,
leave you.
man.
To everyone out there, that is a wrap on Close Up with Perry Nemroff. Do not miss Wicked in theaters November 22nd.
U by Kotex balance pads have a raised center that absorbs instantly. A pad that rises to the occasion.
Time out, time out, time out, time out, time out!
Listen up, get tight.
This is the most important timeout I've ever called.
Things are getting out of control out there, and we need to regroup.
Hate.
Hate.
Hate is winning out there.
Not on these fields.
In our communities.
On our streets.
In our schools.
And we need to stop it.
So let's take this moment
To change the momentum.
and call a timeout.
On hate.
Together.
Together.
Today we're cooking the world's most exotic meats. From $100 chickens to scale-covered reptiles to rare African beasts, we'll be covering the entire animal kingdom. The meats we'll be trying in this video will keep getting more and more exotic, and by the end, we'll be reaching some truly uncharted territory. Starting with this elk loin. Elk is one of my favorite types of wild game. Elk are massive animals weighing up to 1,100 pounds. They're significantly larger than deer and are said to have a sweet, clean taste with more robust flavors due to their natural diet of grass, shrubs, and other plants. For many, they're considered the pinnacle of wild game hunting. High energy, you guys ready? Welcome, Sophia and Kyle, to our adventure in exotic meats. We're starting off very tame here with some elk. Cheers.
No, that's what I'm talking about.
Super tender.
Very similar to beef in terms of flavor. A little bit of gaminess to it, but I don't hate it.
If you didn't tell me what that was, I probably would just think it was a type of beef or something. Pretty good.
Overall, a very strong start, putting the elk in the A category. Next up, we have water buffalo filet mignon steaks. Water buffalo can be found all over the world, especially in Southeast Asia. And it's quite popular in India where beef isn't eaten. Some say it's more like tender and leaner beef, so let's give it a shot. What do you get when you combine water with buffalo?
Water buffalo?
Cheers. So tender.
I'd almost choose that over beef.
It's honestly juicy. It's honestly dang.
I mean, to be fair, this was $80 a pound, and it is the tenderloin, so it better be tender, but still, this was fantastic. And we have our very first S tier. And next up, we have frog legs, and these guys are jacked. I mean, just check out those hamstrings and calves. No wonder they can jump so high. Frog legs are rich in protein, omega-3 fatty acids, and other vitamins, and they're commonly eaten in cuisines all over the world. The first time I tried frog legs was actually by accident. Turns out the Chinese word for frog and chicken are very similar, and when I was in China, I accidentally ordered them. I was in for quite the surprise, but I actually remember sort of liking them. Frog legs, Kyle, you got it. Frog legs, frog legs, and we're gloving up for this one.
Looks like a roided out chicken wing. Look at the size of that.
Everyone always says it tastes like chicken.
Cheers. This tastes like a chicken wing.
No shit. Last time I ate it, I thought it tasted way fishier. This time it tastes way more like chicken. Maybe that's because it's fried, kind of like a chicken wing.
I'm getting a little bit of fishiness.
It's like a fishy chicken wing.
The texture is also kind of like...
It's like a flaky white fish.
Yeah.
All that being said, we're gonna put it somewhere in the middle and give it a C. All right, get home safe, Sophia. See you later, alligator.
Same to you, kangaroo.
It's time for gator. I've had very mixed experiences with eating alligator in my life, but now that I'm officially a certified Florida man, it's time to give it another shot. Perfectly battered and fried, at least visually, these give McDonald's nuggets a run for their money.
Are these tater tots?
Gator tots.
Oh, yeah.
Just going in. This could pass for a chicken nugget. Ooh, though it is a little stringy.
This tastes less fishy to me than the frog did.
The texture is almost like overcooked dark meat chicken, but I like this. Meaning gator is a very solid B. Next up, we have Maui Nui venison rib chops. This right here is the highest quality venison in the world. And believe it or not, this is venison that I actually harvested myself. The key to these high quality rib chops is cooking them to medium rare, and we're keeping it super simple over the grill. To me, this is the Wagyu of venison. Axis deer.
It really resembles a lamb chop, but the flavor is so good, and the crust is amazing.
Most of the venison I've had does have a gaminess to it, but this Hawaiian axis deer is completely next level.
Super clean and tender and just bursts with flavor. And we saw the whole process of this being made.
We definitely saw the process of them being harvested. That was wild. And without question, that right there is S tier. Next up, it is time for ostrich.
Max, we don't have any ostrich.
Well, guess we gotta call that ostrich dealer.
Hey, someone call the ostrich dealer? I got you meat, I got you egg. What do you want?
I'll just go with the meat today.
Hey, payment up front. Pleasure doing business.
Next up, Ostrich. Ostrich are the biggest birds in the world, weighing up to 300 pounds. They're native to Africa and live in a variety of habitats, including grasslands, savannas, shrublands, and deserts. I've cooked their massive eggs a few times, which is the equivalent of 24 normal eggs. But this is the first time I've grilled one up like a steak.
That is rare like an ostrich.
I don't think you're pronouncing ostrich right.
How do you say it?
Ostrich.
You're saying it like R-I-D-G-E. It's I-C-H. Ostrich.
Is it wrong? Let me know in the comments because I think he's crazy.
I don't like this ostrich.
I don't like it. It's kind of tender though. She hates it.
There's like an irony taste, like a...
Ooh, oh, the aftertaste.
Genuinely, if you didn't tell me what that was, I would have no clue what even class of animal that is.
Yeah.
Red meat, poultry, fish, it legitimately could be any of them, and that kind of freaks me out.
Wait, it is poultry though. My point is, are we allowed to cook that to medium rare?
Oh,
Absolutely not our favorite so far, but I have a strong feeling that some of the things we're going to be eating are going to be significantly worse than this. So for that reason, we're giving it a D and not an F. And next up, it is time for turtle. Turtle is often compared to chicken, but said to be more along the lines of pork with a slight seafood edge. That sounds appetizing. I kind of thought turtles were all shell, but pretty impressed with the yield on this thing.
Wow.
Deep fried into a nugget, and let's see how this tastes. We are starting to approach some truly exotic meats. This right here is turtle nuggets.
that's kind of messed up.
For the side-by-side comparison, we have some good old-fashioned McDonald's nuggets.
Oh, yeah.
It smells great. Just something about eating a turtle right now.
Okay.
It's really hard to bite.
It is, once again, giving me fishy vibes.
Calamari?
Overcooked calamari that's like stringy. Flavor-wise, it's not horrible, but
I think if the texture wasn't as hard to chew and you told me that was calamari, I'd probably say it was pretty good.
I gotta have one of these nuggets. Have you ever had salmon, a chicken nugget?
I do not think you want to do that.
I think this is the ribeye. Look at that.
That is so gross.
I was gonna like maybe enjoy this, and now you're dissecting it.
Mr. Turtle is gonna be a D. This one's right up my alley because next up, we are tasting some of the world's most exotic jerky. Jerky is a process that involves seasoning and drying meat, so really, you can turn any protein into jerky. Now, I've done my fair share of jerky making experiments, including that one video where we attempted to turn legitimately everything into jerky. But shark jerky is for sure a new one for me. 4 types of exotic jerky. I'm gonna give you each a random piece, and you have to try to tell me which one you are eating. There's rabbit, kangaroo, shark, and python. Here you go. Cheers.
Mine's very sweet and it's kind of weird. Not the biggest fan of this one. I'm eating a rabbit.
No!
Or a python.
Oh, yeah, second choice. It's not the last time you'll be eating python today, Kyle.
Honestly, I kind of like mine. Kangaroo?
Correct!
Really?
Yes!
No way!
That was
Come on, anyone could have guessed kangaroo.
I tried the shark. It tastes like just sugar. It is extremely crystallized. They must use a ton of sugar and honey, and it does taste fishy. Needless to say, mixed reviews on this jerky right here, but if you are interested in trying the best jerky in the world, head on over to maxjerky.com. If you enjoy our videos, it is by far the best way to support our channel. Use code EXOTIC30 for 30% off your next purchase, and we appreciate the support. We're giving exotic jerky a C. Heading all the way to the land down under, this right here is kangaroo filet mignon. Kangaroo is lean with a gamey flavor, so this red wine and citrus marinade should be a perfect pairing. They have giant tails that act as a third leg, and based on the videos I've seen online, they can be highly aggressive. I've learned you do not want to mess with a kangaroo. You guys ever see Kangaroo Jack?
Are we eating Jack?
Look how tall he is.
Score up to 60% off Christmas trees at Michael's. Plus, get 40% off holiday floral, decor, ribbon, and so much more. Save on Limax collectibles, including Michael's exclusives, and shop creative DIYs for merry making.
Bluehost is an all-in-one website builder and hosting platform and uses powerful AI design tools to help you build a beautiful website in minutes. I feel like in this day and age, we all...
I did like the kangaroo jerky, so...
Cheers.
Like, not sour, but like tangy.
This was the first one we marinated. There is a slight gaminess to it, kind of like venison. It's also very tender. And you'd think of kangaroos like sinewy and like they're always jumping around, but that right there melted in your mouth.
I actually like that more than like venison or elk.
It was $200 a pound, which I think it's a lot cheaper down in Australia. Overall, a lot better than we expected and a very solid beef. Things are starting to get wild because this right here is a whole camel rib roast. This thing is crazy looking. There's this huge knob of fat kind of running throughout. I think that's what's separating the cap from the rest of the rib roast. First of all, I am shocked by how good the marbling looks on this thing. And based on my understanding of a ribeye's anatomy, I actually think this is the ribeye cap, which is absolutely massive for this thing. And the color on it is just stunning. Camel is commonly eaten in the Middle East and Northeast Africa, and it's an important part of cuisines in many regions. It's a ribeye, so I had to cook it to medium rare.
If only it was hump day.
It is hump day. Camel ribeye. It started tasting like steak, and then the flavor comes out.
I'm gonna be straight up, the more I chew this, the more disgusting it gets.
Ooh.
Yes, something not good. Tastes like a barn smells.
The first half of the bite was beef. It was steak. The second half definitely had a barn note to it.
Manure, like horsey.
Good thing we're dry aging a whole one. We want to increase those funky notes.
Definitely not great, but probably not the worst thing we're gonna be eating today. So for that reason, we're giving it a D. And next up, we have llama filet mignon. And for reference, these two little pieces cost $200. Let that sink in. Llamas are native to the Andes Mountains of Peru and Bolivia, but can be found in other areas of South America. It's highly versatile, often grilled, stewed, dried, or used as an empanada filling. At $200 a pound, hopes are very high. Still got that camel in my mouth.
I'm starting to feel a little bit sick, if I'm being honest.
Llama tenderloin.
It's not bad.
Very unique seasoning profile on it.
The meat itself doesn't have any funky flavors. It's really good.
It's not gamey. It's really clean.
A little less tender than a typical tenderloin would be, but I like the chew. Especially coming after the camel, I am very pleasantly surprised, and we're giving it an A. This is not your average chicken. What we have in front of us is a $100 Bluefoot chicken.
Oh, whoa, that was so gross.
Really? That is so sad. I loved it.
It was almost like it was waterlogged, and then I ate it, and then the juices came out, and it made me want to gag.
I feel like I kind of get almost like a woody or earthy taste to it, but in a good way.
Clearly some very mixed reviews for the Gemsbach between the crew here, so we're gonna put it right in the middle at a C. This is the deepest red color we've seen on a piece of meat so far. What we have in front of us is beaver tenderloin. Beavers are more commonly trapped for their fur, though the Native Americans were eating them long before the European settlers arrived. This is an extremely expensive cut, so I kept it simple with an authentic Native American spice blend, cooked to medium rare.
It's so rare.
Looks like ostrich.
It's not ostrich.
Oh, that's so much softer than I would have ever imagined.
So soft. Yeah, the aftertaste. Whoever wrote on Google that it's a great meat to eat, if you ever had an iron-tasting food or like just blood flavor,
that's not good.
It's even worse when you wash it down with the water because then you start actually tasting the taste.
That cost $100. I think that gets an F.
Okay, if you guys do not want to see an armadillo, then please stop watching. Because next up we have armadillo. Believe it or not, armadillo is said to taste like high-quality pork, and it's eaten in certain parts of Central and South America. It's historically eaten during difficult times when other meat was hard to come by, and honestly, I'm feeling nervous about this one.
I'm testing out the Poise Ultra Thin Pads. Ever since the baby, I leak when I sneeze, and I have allergies, so I sneeze a lot. These pads are really absorbent and so thin, I barely notice I'm wearing them. Sneeze test? Poise Ultra Thin Pads. Try Poise Ultra Thins.
Get away from having to just get there. This is what travel can.
Oh my God.
Did you go to the dumpster and take all the juice that sits at the bottom?
Oh, yes. That is exactly.
I'm throwing in the towel.
You don't even know what it is yet.
I don't care. It's freaking trash.
I want to just like have one bite just so I know what it tastes like.
See, that's my sister right there.
Immediately spitting it out. I'm gonna be honest, it tastes like canned tuna fish.
Oh, man.
My first few bites, I was looking directly into your eyes, and it felt like things were going well. And then as I continued chewing,
then the flavor opened up.
It really opened up and legitimately tasted exactly how you would think roadkill would taste. Sitting on the road for like 4 or 5 days, scraped up and put into a stew.
That sounds like it is getting an F.
Like, I don't love the idea of food waste, but this is going in the trash. where it belongs. This is another weird one. Next up, we have a possum. A possum. A possum. We have two. We have a possum. In the Caribbean, a possum is often smoked.
I think I'm gonna go. Nah, actually.
Be honest, baby. It's okay. You're gonna feel so much better. You're gonna feel so much better.
When they pull this GPS, will it show that you were at home in your bed, or will it show that you were somewhere else? That's the question that was asked. You don't know?
This is that's serious. I'm gonna kill my family. What am I supposed to do?
Robert, you don't understand that you're just as guilty if you know who did it and you're not saying nothing. That's guilty by association.
I don't know. Snitching on everybody. If I was gonna get charged, why did you make me stay?
I said I don't know.
When the bodies of 3 teenagers were discovered over a period of several days in the same neighborhood in Marion County, Florida, the police didn't know what to think. This would set the tone for the rest of the case, as the emerging suspects all seemed intent on blaming each other. The identity of the alleged perpetrator, along with the motive for the heartless murders, turned out to be more alarming than anyone wanted to believe. The police first learned that something was terribly wrong just before midnight on March 30th, 2023, when they received this 911 call.
There's a girl laying in front of my road and she's dying.
Okay, is she awake?
She's dying, I don't know. She's bleeding out of her head. She's gargling on her blood.
You need to turn her on her side so she doesn't choke, okay?
It doesn't matter what side, like on what side?
No, just turn her on her side so she doesn't choke on the blood, okay?
Oh, God.
Is she awake?
No.
Okay, is she breathing?
She's breathing.
Oh.
Do you know how far they are?
I don't have an ETA, but they are on the way, okay?
Deputies from the Marion County Sheriff's Department arrived moments before the ambulance. While paramedics rushed to try to save the victim, the deputies tried to get a grasp on the chaotic scene. Within 5 minutes of the ambulance arriving, the victim was on her way to the nearest hospital. The Sheriff's Department was left to pick apart the seemingly inexplicable scene.
She's not responsive?
No, not responsive. No, there's no ID, no nothing.
Young girl, older girl?
Younger girl. The shoe's right there, and that's been moved.
She was right there, right?
Yeah. There's blood everywhere. I was not expecting that.
No. Well, I thought it was going to be BS, honestly.
Yeah, I immediately thought she had got, like, hit by a car. And I seen the big, but I've never seen an exit wound in a hit.
Yeah.
So I wasn't aware. Oh, yeah. She's laying down. It's all pulled out. I mean, it was.
And she was still breathing?
Rapid breathing.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Medic said she ain't gonna.
Yeah, more than likely. I mean, if she did, that's wild.
When police made contact with the 911 caller, they learned that he was just as confused about the situation as the deputies. He only became aware that something was amiss when he got a call from his neighbor across the street.
You didn't hear nothing at all?
She told me it sounded like someone crashed into my dumpster, and then there was like 2 shots.
The neighbor in question made her way over to talk to the deputies directly. Unfortunately, what she said only served to make the situation even more mysterious.
So, around what time did you hear? You said it sounded like a gun,
Yeah, it wasn't a loud gunshot. I would say about 20, 30 minutes ago. It wasn't a loud gunshot, but I heard about 4 or 5. And I kind of blew it off casually, and then I just looked out my window because I did think it was strange with it, how late it was. And I saw the car run into the dumpster.
Mm-hmm.
And once I seen the car run into the dumpster, I stepped out my door, and I seen a man run out of the car down the road towards my yard, and I yelled at him, "What are you doing?" And then I seen him run back towards the car, take a minute, and I was calling him because it was his dumpster, and I seen him skirt off into the neighborhood.
Did you see if anybody was in? Was it only one? Was there
I
several
only
people?
seen one person running, and it was a male. It had a male figure, had a hat on. I want to say he was like 5 foot, maybe, but it was only one dude running down the road.
This once again tracked with the evidence, as police found several sets of footprints at the scene.
Did you hear the crash first, or did you hear what sounded like
I heard the gunshots first.
Where did?
The deputies closed down the main entrances and exits to the Forest Lakes Park neighborhood, hoping to catch the alleged shooter as he attempted to flee. Unfortunately, the area was
This already
heavily
sucked
wooded,
to me.
with plenty of places to hide and lots of back roads. This made for a difficult search for police and an easy getaway for the alleged perpetrator. Meanwhile, the hospital where the victim was being treated was able to provide some help in that regard. They identified the girl as 16-year-old Layla Silvernail. Her grandparents, who were her legal guardians, were understandably distraught. Detectives first made contact with her grandfather, Kenneth.
Layla was found, she was apparently with a gunshot wound, and she was taken to the hospital. So that's part of the reason why we came here, was to let you know about her status, but we also wanted to know any information that you had about who she was with yesterday, who she hanged out with.
What's she in the hospital for?
She has a gunshot wound.
Huh? She was shot. You're kidding.
No, that's what I told you when
This is what I've been trying to tell her. You're hanging around with her.
Kenneth hurried to the back of the house to get his wife, Lisa. Layla's grandmother only seemed to become more distressed when the detectives tried to ask her questions.
Lisa, come here. Lisa, have a seat right here.
Is my granddaughter okay? Will she be okay?
She's going to be at the hospital. I don't know anything. That's my
Lisa, I'm the victim advocate, okay? I'm here for you. Have a seat for us. We need some information so we can find out who did this, okay?
I'd like to know too.
We
I will go and I will shoot their asses. Oh no!
Listen,
Where was she shot at? Does anybody know anything?
She was shot in the head. Listen, that's all we have right now, okay?
This can't be happening. This can't be happening.
The situation was actually more horrifying than Lisa knew.
At Vistaprint, we print signs so people can see your brand up close. But we also print signs so that people can see your business here, see it here, and see it here, so you stand out. Even when they're way back here. Get 20% off.
Early on March 31st, the morning after the shooting, the police stumbled upon the last thing they were expecting. Just blocks away from the crime scene where Layla was found, police discovered a second victim, also suffering from a gunshot wound. There was little doubt that the two cases were connected, which made the search for the shooter all the more urgent. Back with Layla's grandparents, the detectives desperately tried to find out who might have been with Layla that night. Since they'd already found two victims, they had to wonder if more of her friends were hurt, or in danger too.
Lisa, look at me. Who was she with yesterday?
She came here with, and I'm gonna tell you everything, because I don't like the people she hangs around with anyway.
Okay, that's what we need. That's what we need.
Lisa said Layla was almost always with her boyfriend, 17-year-old Michael Hodo. She also directed the police to Layla's best friend, who might have more information about her activities the day before the shooting. Another name came up too, and it was one police were already familiar with.
And then that runaway girl, Camille.
Okay.
She was with her too yesterday.
Camille Quarles, 16, had been reported as a runaway by her aunt and legal guardian several weeks prior. It was an open secret that she'd been staying with Layla at her grandparents' house, but no one had successfully brought her home yet. When police made contact with Camille's aunt, Amy, she was not shy about expressing her frustration with the investigation.
I did call it in this morning to ask somebody to go through there, and nobody has called me back. I've called 5 or 6 times a day since she's been gone.
Even worse, Amy's son was hearing all kinds of gossip about the case at school. People were saying Camille had also been shot. The names of the victims and the location of the crime was seemingly common knowledge. Disturbingly, police had not yet confirmed if Camille was involved. Also, they'd not yet released the names of the victims or the location, which meant whoever was spreading this information had to be involved.
And there was another body discovered this morning in that neighborhood.
Okay.
I want to know if it's my child.
Okay, the second person is not Camille. I can't identify who that person is, but it's not her.
The identity of the second victim only made the case more dire, especially in regards to Camille's safety. Frustratingly, the police were still in the dark about most of the lead up to the crime, up until they got in touch with Layla's best friend, Gabby. She was more forthcoming and told the detectives that she'd spent the day with Layla and her boyfriend, Michael Hodo, and several other teens who would soon become an integral part of the case.
Was there anybody else in the car other than you, Layla, anytime during the day?
Camille was there.
This was the second statement placing Camille at the scene of the crime. But disturbingly, there was still no sign of her. Prior to the shooting, Camille's aunt said she'd caught sight of her at the park once or twice and kept a close eye on her Instagram feed to see what she was up to. Since the night of the 30th, though, it had been radio silence. Back with the detectives, Layla's friend recounted their travels throughout the day and who else was with the group.
We went to Rob's. We went to, like, you know, like, I don't know if it's abandoned. Do you know what a trap house is?
Yeah.
Okay, so apparently, like, this kid Rob, I don't know him personally, but they do.
Okay.
They're like friends or whatever, and we went over there and we chilled over there.
Significantly, Gabby said that Layla had been the one driving all day, but the only sign of her vehicle, a white Chevy Cruze, was a tire track left at the crime scene. The police hoped that finding the vehicle would offer some insight into what happened the night Layla was shot.
Do you know his last name or anything else about Rob?
No, I don't really know if Rob is like his real name or not, because I know some people know him as Reaper, Rob, and stuff like that. So
Was anyone else there at the house besides the three of you and Rob?
well, there was this kid 3'5", but I don't know his real name.
What's 3'5" look like?
I don't know. He's 12. He's a little kid.
A 12-year-old?
Detectives knew they needed to track down Rob and 3'5". They started with Rob, who they believed to be 17-year-old Robert Robinson, who was already incarcerated at a juvenile detention facility for a different offense. When detectives asked him about 3'5", he directed them to a boy named Christopher Atkins. Shockingly, Gabby was right. He was only 12 years old. Since Chris and Rob were both minors, their mothers were asked to join them at the police station before any conversations took place. Chris's mother, Ashley, was the first to arrive.
I don't understand. Where the hell is my son? If he being questioned, why the fuck I'm not in there? What state is that on? Where's my son?
He's in the other room right here.
They're talking to him?
Not yet, no. They're all getting their stuff together.
It seems she wasn't convinced they weren't already questioning him, because Ashley did her best to hear what was going on in the other room. After almost 2 hours of waiting, she was finally escorted to the next room to join Chris, who was visibly trembling.
Can I put this on? Sure. Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely. Did you want another jacket? Okay. Are you sure? You look like you're cold. Let me get you.
You said you have 4 siblings? Okay. You guys get along okay in the house?
The detectives set about gradually breaking the ice with Chris, all the time appearing hyper-aware that he was only 12 years old. After taking all necessary precautions, like making both Chris and his mother aware of their rights, and establishing on record that Chris knew the difference between right and wrong, they finally got to the issue at hand.
So, Chris, what I'd like to start with talking to you about is, and like I said, I just want you to be honest with us. I'd like you to talk to me about last Thursday night.
First, we made something to eat. Then we watched TV. Then I went to sleep for a little bit. And I heard something outside. I opened the door. There was nothing outside now. I think I went to sleep.
So I think what you just told me was what you probably had rehearsed in your mind several times to tell a police officer if you ever had to talk about that Thursday night. Because sitting here and talking to you with your mom here crying and knowing that you have these siblings, you're probably in sort of an embarrassing and shameful position. If you are sorry for what happened, repent for it and start from the very beginning and go to the very end without me having to pull it from you. Because somebody that I have to pull each individual action from, that tells me that they don't really want to say what they did wrong, that they don't feel bad for it.
Reaper down there has been super honest. He it took him a minute to get comfortable with me, and he's told me everything down to details that only he would know. And
involved in
that nobody else would know.
Some of the details, he points finger at you.
17-year-old Rob, also known by the concerning moniker Reaper, was also being questioned. Just like Chris, Rob and his mom Erica were both advised of their Miranda rights before the interrogation commenced.
I'm trying to bring the best way to say this to you guys. We're investigating several different incidents that occurred over the last couple of weeks.
Okay.
One being a theft of side-by-side. One being the theft of, a burglary. We're investigating a robbery, and we're investigating a murder. Okay?
Murder.
Mm-hmm. So,
the first ones you named is believable. The last one you named is not. You don't have the heart to keep it going. I know that for a fact.
Okay. What'd you do on Thursday all day?
I mean, I was home all day. Like, I was home all Thursday.
Okay. Who were you with? Did anybody come over? Did we hang out with anybody? Did you go anywhere with anybody?
I ain't go no. Came over at like 1 o'clock.
What'd you guys do then?
We were just chilling. Literally, like we were just chilling.
Okay. Was anybody with at the time? How did he get to your house? Things like that?
Supposed to drove to my house. It was him, Landon, Layla, and it was another girl with them. I don't know her name.
Sosa was a nickname that Layla's boyfriend, 17-year-old Michael, used. Michael's father had last seen him about 6:30 last night, around the same time Gabby said she parted ways with the group. Landon was another local boy who police determined didn't know anything that would aid the investigation. As for the unnamed girl, the police likely wondered if she could be the missing Camille and why she hadn't been seen or heard from since.
Did you go anywhere after 6:30, Rob?
Oh, why do y'all keep asking that?
I just wanted to ask it because we've been working on our investigation.
What do y'all think happened, bro? I'm telling you,
You understand?
in the house
You understand?
that night. Like I only seen Sosa one time that day.
Rob, we know you were out of the house after 6:30. Okay? We know you were with around 7 o'clock p.m.
Thanks to CCTV footage, police believed that Rob, along with others in the friend group, had been involved in the theft of a vehicle and an armed robbery that night. As serious as these crimes were, they paled in comparison to what police believed happened later. Back in the room with Chris, his mother tried to make him understand the severity of the situation.
Well, you need to tell. If you ain't,
Now's the time.
Now's the whole story.
Now's
You
the
know
time
you
to
left
get
out of
out.
the house Thursday when I told you not to. And you finna speak. You know, you gotta talk right now.
And Reaper's already told us what the plan was that night. So there's, we know what the original plan was. We're asking you now to be honest and to come forth and tell us what happened and why it happened.
He knocked on the window.
When you say he, I never want to guess. Who's he?
Reaper, a.k.a. Rob, took a lot of convincing before he opened up.
Rob, right now you're protecting KTM and your buddies. You need to think about protecting yourself.
The disturbing meaning behind KTM will be revealed in due time. For now, the fact that the police knew about the mysterious phrase was enough to get Rob talking, albeit reluctantly.
Was that the house?
When you were with who was with y'all?
It was me. P5. Layla was there. And that was it.
The police knew by now that there were more people at the house than just Chris, Rob, Michael, and Layla.
Did you go anywhere with them that night?
No, I ain't go nowhere with them. I just told you. I went, I swear to God, was at the house. They said they was finna leave. I went back home. Actually, Mom, I didn't come in until like late. I didn't come in until after 7 anyways.
You don't know what time you came home. Now,
But they talking about what now? Mulaka at 7:10.
what I'm saying is, you don't know what time you came home because you defy your curfew so much. You don't know what time you came in. It might have been 8 o'clock. It might have been 7:30. It might have, you know what I'm saying? So you don't know. What I'm saying is, if you know something that they're trying to get out of you, I don't give a who your friends are, who you trying to protect. I gotta get to work. And I'm sick of dealing with this jail. Could you choose to have friends? You need to be honest.
Unfortunately for Rob, the police already knew that he was still holding back the dark details of what he got up to that night.
What about his cell phone? Do you own that phone?
Yeah, I own that phone. So do you all want permission to check the location?
That
on
would be
phone?
great, yeah.
No.
That would
What
be
do you
great.
mean no?
Oh, they didn't check my phone.
They're not looking in your phone for anything else.
So you're certain that your phone GPS will keep you at your house that night?
Are you? Are you?
So we go.
No, I can just tell you, I really don't know nothing about no murder. That is the truth. I don't know nothing about no murder, and I was not there with no murder.
That's not what they asked, though. That's not what they asked. What they asked was, when they pull this GPS, will it show that you were at home in your bed, or will it show that you were somewhere else? That's the question that was asked. You don't know?
I don't know what y'all want me to do. Like, I'm telling you stuff.
They want you to tell them lying, and I'm telling them the truth. And you're sitting there going with them. Why don't you believe in them? They are not your son. Stop believing them. Oh, no, I was not there. Like, I didn't say I was not there. You were there. Wait, first and foremost. You're sitting there just moving everything you're saying. No, first and foremost, you lie so much, I don't know what to believe what comes out your mouth. You didn't burn the bridge that's been gone. Let's get that understood. Like, I was like, but what I'm saying is, you so quick to want to protect people and let me finish.
Protecting.
You so quick to want to protect people, don't want to snitch, want to be cool this and cool that, and not be known as a is in the paperwork and all of this, that you're willing to sit here and go down for murder that I know you didn't do. I know for a fact that you didn't do it. But you're going to be guilty by association because you don't want to tell who did it. That's the problem.
I did not kill nobody. I did not kill nobody.
Did somebody you know do it?
Like, what the? No, I don't know nothing about no murder. I don't know nothing about no murder.
And if you lying, you standing on this island by yourself. Because if you got something to tell these people, because they have a way to tell if you're lying.
The best way to tell if Rob was lying was Chris, who was still in the room next door. He was sharing a bit more than Rob, and some key differences in their statements stood out already.
What do you think he's going to tell us, Robert?
He's not going to, with me, I swear to God, he's not going to, I didn't do anything. I promise you I didn't do anything.
Who did?
I don't understand why you keep lying. And then you go back.
It's going to be a snitch. And it doesn't matter. Kill me. It don't matter. That is a snitch and I would die. This is not no joke. You would die. Like, you would die for snitching out here. People die for that. Real talk. Mama, people get popped and killed for snitching.
We're talking about life sentences here.
Right. And this is like really just listen. Your actions and the people you choose to hang with and all of this
I didn't kill anybody.
is slowly killing me. I should just pause. Let me talk. I'm supposed to be at work right now. I just took a promotion. I can't keep missing work over that you are doing or the people you hang with or just any of that. Like, I don't know if you know or not, but they threatening me with contempt of court because I don't come to none of your court stuff that you got going on. I make sure you get there, but I cannot keep missing work. And you sitting here in my face telling me that you don't want to snitch because your life is they gonna kill you. Pause. You don't know. It wasn't me. I didn't say. I don't know why they trying to get me to my snitch. I didn't say that you killed anyone. Robert, you don't understand that you just as guilty if you know who did it and you're not saying nothing. That's guilty by association. Like, what part of that is not clicking for you? If you know who killed these kids, then you need to tell him.
Some part of this tirade must have made an impression, because at long last, Rob shared his version of events.
Taj killed all three of them.
Okay. Tell me about it.
Were you there?
What the whole story?
Were you there?
Let him talk. Tell me the whole story.
Rob just mentioned 3 victims, but the detectives had so far only asked him about 2. Not only did this grab their attention, but they likely suspected that the Taj that Rob mentioned was 16-year-old Taj Bruton, with whom they were already acquainted due to previous cases. Unfortunately, this didn't mean they knew where to find him. Several weeks earlier, Taj cut off his ankle monitor and went on the run. The detectives would focus on this after they got more of the story from Chris, who picked up the story after he said Rob, aka Reaper, knocked on his window.
Okay, Reaper knocks on the window.
He knocks on the window. He said, "Come on, we finna go see some girls or something." Then we went out, and this girl and the boy picked us up. I don't know what. This girl and the boy described.
From Rob's statement, the police believed this had to be Michael and Layla. He made no mention of Camille, however, even when he explained where everyone was sitting in Layla's car. The seating arrangement would be crucial later. Layla was driving. Michael was in the passenger seat, while Chris and Rob were in the back seat. But they weren't alone.
Then somebody came in the car. I don't know what his name. It was like somebody in all black.
Okay. And how does this person look? I know you said he's wearing dark color clothes, right? I heard you say that.
Ski mask on too.
I'm telling you what, if somebody got in the car wearing a ski mask, I'd be like, what is going on?
But that didn't appear to be Chris's response, and the detectives likely had a horrible inkling as to why.
Yeah, I looked at Rob. I was like, I thought we were going to see some girls. He's like, we had. I was like, oh, all right. And then we kept driving again.
Throughout his interrogation, Chris would only refer to the man in the ski mask as the X-Man. Luckily, Rob had already revealed the identity of their companion.
We pick up Taj. As soon as Taj came out of the house, first thing he told me, we knocking on. We knocking on. I was like, nah, but I ain't even trying to do all that.
It took a little more persuading, but Rob eventually told the police that they could find Taj at his girlfriend's house. They picked him up and brought him to the station after they finished talking to Chris and Rob. But instead of clearing up the questions detectives had, Taj made everything more confusing. He said everything was Rob's idea.
I'm sitting right next to him. He whispered in my ear, he was like, bro, I'm finna rob these tonight, bro. I look at him like, what you mean you finna rob these tonight? He's like, bro, so saying, Layla, but they got a pound of weed, they got some money, bro. And if they don't go for it, I'm gonna kill them. That's exactly how he said. At this point, I'm frantic if I can't, if I tell Sosa, right, Rob's sitting right next to me, so therefore he's gonna shoot me. So I'm sitting here, I'm scared as hell, so I'm like, I ain't got no choice but to just sit here and just, it is what it is.
Rob told detectives that it was the other way around.
It was so random. He just said he wanted to knock him off. I'm not thinking he's serious, though. At the time, when he first said it, if you would have seen his face, he was laughing. If I would have really thought he was finna kill me, I wouldn't have got back in that car. I would have stayed right there and called my mom and be like, can you come get me? I didn't think he was serious until when the car started slowing down and I seen him up the gun.
Rob said that Taj did this because he wanted to take Michael's firearm. Over in Chris's interrogation room, his story aligned with Rob's, for now.
What triggered him to just start shooting? I'm trying to figure out. Is something in between that you're not saying?
Because I think the person that, the white guy, I think they said he had a lot of money or something.
Oh, so it was set up as a robbery. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Okay. So they were setting up the robbery in.
Did Reaper mention that to you, that something was going to be set up or anything?
He didn't even know. All I heard was a child, and I thought somebody was shooting at us, so I hopped out of the car and ran.
I'm looking. Boom! Boom!
Once again, Taj's version was a little different.
3-5 shot at Sosa. Boom. Layla got shot by Rob because that was diagonal. It was crazy.
Just like that. It took 2 shots. It wasn't no more than that. It took 2 shots to kill both of them.
The police knew at least part of this was true. Who shot who was yet to be determined. But tragically, they'd confirmed the second victim as Layla's boyfriend, Michael Hodo. He was in the grass by the side of the road, just blocks away from Layla. He was deceased when police found him. Michael's father had a heartbreaking reaction when he found out that his son would not be coming home.
My son's dead, isn't he?
I'm sorry to be the one to tell you.
No! Oh my God! No!
Can they come back out here and help? We have to talk. We have to find this out. Who's to find this? This is to go find out who did this to Sam. I'll find him when I go and kill him. Oh my God!
While Michael's family reeled from the devastating news, Chris continued with his upsetting story about Michael's final moments.
And you said he shot this white guy first?
Yeah, the white guy was like sitting like this. And like,
Where'd he shoot him at?
like right here.
And the gun was pressed up against his head? Is that what you're...
I think it was like...
Okay. And then, what about the white girl that's driving? Tell me about that.
He turned the gun and shot her.
Where'd he shoot her at? And...
I don't know.
Rob agreed, which would soon become increasingly rare.
Where did he shoot Layla?
I think it was headshots.
On the other hand, Taj put the blame back on his two companions.
I know he shot Sosa in the back of the head. I seen that happen. I seen Rob try to shoot her, right? And when he tried to shoot her, he shot her, and then his gun didn't go off. So he reloaded it again and shot her.
All contradictions temporarily aside, Chris added another disturbing detail.
Did he see it coming?
No, it was like to the back of his head.
Okay. Did he have any time to defend himself?
No, but Taj just upped him and shot him in the head.
At this point, police were still searching Forest Lakes Park for evidence. Now that they knew the shooting had occurred in Layla's car, it was more important than ever to find the vehicle. Most of all, though, they were looking for any sign of Camille. They hoped to find her alive, but the police were likely aware that, like Layla, she could be seriously injured and in need of medical attention. If that was the case, every passing moment decreased her chance of survival. For the time being, though, her family was left in an exhausting state of limbo. The situation was made infinitely worse by rumors that Camille had been caught up in the shooting. Frustratingly, the police still had no concrete answers for her family. They had to hope that Chris, Rob, and Taj would ultimately provide an explanation. They got even closer when Chris continued with more of the story. But once again, the details started to get shaky.
Was the car driving whenever they got shot?
No, it was just like, it stopped, and then like it kept going, like, and I hopped out the car and kept going with it.
Where did the car keep going when it kept going?
Like to a dumpster.
Did you get back in the car?
Yeah, I got back.
I mean, did you want to get back in the car, or did you not? No, you didn't want to. Okay, what made you get back in that car? Explain to me that.
Because he had a gun, I thought he was going to get a shoot at me. Because if I was just with him and if I was just with him, he'd just kill somebody. And he probably would kill me too, because he think I was a snake.
On the contrary, Rob said that he was the one who jumped out of the car.
When he shot Layla, I got out the car because the blood started dripping and I didn't want it to get on me.
Taj claimed the same thing.
I get out of the car, they still shooting because it was like 4 to 6 shots. I don't know exactly how many shots it was, but it was a couple shots, bro. So at this point, we hear this lady. This lady's over there like, I'm running. I'm trying to hide in the forest. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm trying to call her, bring everything. So this lady, hey, what's going on over there? He sees me, or I guess he ran back over there. Rob ran over there, and he was like, hey, this, that, and the third. So I'm like, I'm just do what you tell me to do. I just want to go home. So
the only thing that this established was that at least one of the boys had gotten out of the car. But this wasn't news, as the woman who saw the car hit the dumpster also told police that she saw a male figure running around shortly after she heard gunshots and saw the crash. The detectives decided not to challenge the boys on this front for now, and pushed for the truth on more important matters instead. They started with Rob.
What happened to Layla? Where did they...
I don't know. Taj threw Layla out the car and hopped in the driver's seat and started driving.
Rob said Taj repeated the process a short time later.
Taj pulled body out the car, patted him down the cannon. He grabbed the cannon, got back in the driver's seat.
One sec.
Go around the corner. He goes over to the Sosa. Sosa had, I think, in his somewhere on him. So he pulled so side of the car, he just dragged him over in some woods.
And were you driving the car?
No, I was not driving the car.
Yeah. The detectives asked Chris similar questions.
Did you pull her out of the car?
What is Rob doing during all this?
He was saying that.
What's he saying?
Like, he was like, oh, he was like, go.
And what happened next?
Then he drove all the way out there in Oklahoma. And he tried to put a thing in the river, but I think got stuck or something.
What thing are you talking about? The car. Okay.
Once again, the detectives already had information that would let them know if one of the boys was lying. The search of Forest Lakes Park had finally paid off, leading police to another grisly and tragic discovery. Taj picked up the story again to tell his version of what they did with Layla's car.
We get over here to this lake. It's dark as hell. 3-5 get out of the car. He get out of the car. Rob tells him, hey, start wiping everything down. So he started wiping everything down. He's wiping everything down. The door handles everything. He's wiping everything down. So after he started wiping everything down, Rob takes Layla's phone or Aunt Sosa's phone or whoever phones he found in that bit, threw him in the lake, throw him in the lake.
The lake in question turned out to be 5.5 miles or 8.8 kilometers outside Forest Lakes Park, but police had no question that this was the scene they were looking for. When they dredged the lake, they recovered the 2 phones from the water, which were determined to be Michael and Layla's. But this wasn't the only evidence they found. Taj attempted to explain what was found as he continued his story, starring Rob as the mastermind of the crime.
He tell 3-5, get in the car, drive the car into the lake, for whatever reason.
When the detectives asked Chris, though, he said he was nowhere near the car at that point.
Were you in the car when it was going in the river, or?
I was out of the I was trying to run back to my house.
Mm-hmm. You were out of the car. What was Rob doing?
I don't know. I left. I was running back to my house.
What did he say he did with the car after that then?
I didn't ask all of that. I didn't ask that.
What about the guns that were used?
I don't know where those at either.
Oh, it's barely in the lake. Like when he drive, it might be the 2 front tires in the lake. It might be a little bit more in the hood, but the back of the car, all that is still out of the lake.
That was exactly how the police discovered the car. What they found inside was more gruesome than they had ever anticipated. Back with Chris, he continued his tale.
Describe to me the clothes that you were wearing that night when all these bad things happened. What happened to them?
They wanted us to burn them.
Who wanted you to burn them? Did you have blood or something on them?
No.
Are you sure?
I don't think so.
Like Detective Fender said, we processed that car front to back, top to bottom, bottom to top 3 times. 3 days worth of actual forensic work, several forensic people. I don't think you could have sat anywhere in that car and not got blood on you.
I think it was something like, shoot, I'm standing over here scared as I think it's blood all over me, but it's dark, so I don't know. But I think it's blood all over me.
Rob said burning the clothes was all Taj. Taj, of course, said it was Rob. Regardless of who had the idea, the police found the remains of clothing in a burn pile in the forest, including pieces of shoes, sweatpants, and sweatshirts. However, this was not the only clothing item the police discovered intact. Chris's shoes, which he described as Nike slides, were found discarded in the bushes, and a single glove was found near Michael's body. Another was found near the lake. The police asked Taj about this.
So were you wearing gloves at this time?
Yes, I was wearing gloves, because like I said, I was supposed to go hit.
And what about Rob?
Rob was wearing gloves too. Yeah, Rob was wearing gloves.
Taj revealed that the original plan was for the group to go car hopping that night, which was why he was wearing gloves and a ski mask. But police had to wonder if there was a far darker reason the boys brought these items. For now, the detectives wrapped up the conversation with Rob.
Do you feel a little better now that you were honest? Did you need to get that off your chest?
Worse. Now I feel like I just snitched on everybody.
The detective stepped out, but little did Rob know that his night at the police station was far from over. There was a lot more that he needed to fess up to, but for now, he was left alone with his mother.
Charge you.
Because you were there and you didn't come forward.
Did you come forward?
I'm talking about when it happened.
I just talked about everything.
I'm just letting you know, Rob. You don't
I'm gonna get
understand.
charged for murder. Mama, who was the one that was snitching on everybody? Who was gonna get charged? Why did you make me stay?
I said I don't know.
All right. What's the point of snitching?
We're gonna ask you to step out now.
Hey, Mama. Wait, hey, is my mama still here?
Yes, she's still
Wait, Mama.
Talk to me.
Okay,
Can
can you see if they do charge me, can you see if she can give me a lawyer? I didn't kill anybody.
Relax.
Can you ask her, please?
Rob waited, asking the detective stationed at the door several times to bring his mother back, but she had left to go back to work. Before she did, she informed police that she did not want Rob answering any more questions without a lawyer present. Rob was not on board with this plan.
Is my mama still here? Hold on. How can I get charged for murder?
Listen,
Can you explain it to me?
hold on. We got it. We're taking your DNA, okay?
While the police took Rob's DNA, fingerprints, and photos, he continued to ask them how it was possible that he would be charged with murder.
Listen, can I tell you the situation, please?
I heard it. Listen, let them do their thing. Your mama's not here yet. We can't talk to you.
She's close?
I don't know how far she got, but she is on her way.
Rob's interrogation might have been on pause, but the conversation with Chris remained in full swing. The questions he faced were about to get a whole lot harder.
They executed a search warrant on the house, which they did collect some things, and I'd like to talk to you about those things too.
Mm-hmm.
But because it looked like a surprise on that.
Yeah, like what was in my house that got to do with this homicide? And
I will, and I'm going to tell you about that because, like I said, I'm not going to leave anything out.
I can tell you it's pretty damning. I guess I would use that word.
so serious?
Do you own any firearms, ma'am? Does anyone in your home own a firearm? Okay, because I'm pretty sure they found one or two firearms in the house. And I'm sure you guys have watched CSI, right? We can take a firearm, we can shoot it. That round that you shoot, we can take, and we can put it into a computer
And tell you who got
can actually compare it to other fired casings, like the shell from the bullet. So, how?
You told me who the guns from. Why would you hold guns from when you know something that dumb just happened? That was stupid.
When Reaper gave you these, you think that they're going to be related to this?
I think so.
Describe to me why you think that.
Because he said, put these up, make sure your mama don't find them.
Okay. And the gun that you saw X-Man use, was it either one of those two guns?
I think it was black.
Meanwhile, Rob continued to wait.
Didn't kill anybody. I don't want to be charged with murder. I do not want to be charged with murder.
Eventually, the detectives did come back to speak with him, since he was insistent on saying more, even though his mother did not return to the station.
All right, so, I explained to you what your mom said on the phone, right? She didn't want us to ask you any more questions about a lawyer presence. You reapproached me a couple times, and you said that you wanted to discuss some stuff further, right? I just want to make sure that we're clear that you don't have to answer our question. You don't have to talk to us at this point, but you stated to me that it's my case. I want to talk to you. Yes.
Because Rob's mom was no longer present, they read him his Miranda rights again. Right off the bat, he admitted to additional involvement.
Taj told me to help him pull the body out of the trunk and throw it in the lake. He grabs it. He's trying to pull a leg. He was like, "Bro, it's heavy. I need help." So I grabbed one leg. I tried to help. I was like, "Bro, it's too heavy. I don't want to do this." Put the thing down. Left the girl in the trunk because I told him I didn't want to help him. Like,
Rob went on to tell a long, rambling tale about selling his gun the day before the crimes took place. The detectives hear him out before dropping a bombshell.
That's an issue because we have that gun now.
no, that's not.
It was at 3-5's house. You said you sold it.
I did. That's not my gun. That one's not mine. That's
the
not my
same
gun.
In addition to this, the police strongly suspected Rob had stolen the firearm.
You might have told the truth that you didn't pull a trigger, but you knew this was going to happen. You knew it was going to happen.
I did not know this.
The detectives had a similar exchange with Taj.
We've sent some of the casings off to be examined already. It's not back, I'll tell you that. Otherwise, we would probably be having this conversation. That those casings aren't going to come back, like he said, to a third gun.
To a third gun, they shouldn't.
Multiple casings were found at all 3 crime scenes, but especially near the car at the lake. Even if the boys weren't budging on the issue of who shot who, lab tests would reveal the truth in due time. In the meantime, the detectives brought up something 2 of the boys in particular were probably dreading.
Let's talk about the trunk. Trunk of that car.
I'm looking at the trunk, sir.
There's another part that we haven't talked about.
Trunk?
Mm-hmm.
It was a girl in the trunk. Mm-hmm. And he told me to open the trunk, and he shot her.
Where did he tell you to open the trunk from?
He told me to open the trunk from the inside, like the inside.
Okay.
And whenever you pulled that open, tell me about what you saw in there.
All I seen was luggage, and then he said move, and he shot.
Okay. You said all you saw was luggage?
Luggage and it was like a girl.
And what part of her body could you see? Could you see her feet, or hair, her hand? Describing
I seen hair. I did not even know it was another person in the trunk at all.
Okay. So you just riding around and she just in there?
Yeah. I mean, we rode around like that before, though.
Just because there ain't no room for all the people?
Just because there ain't no room for all the people.
When you go to open up that seat, what were you thinking in your head?
Like, what am I gonna do? I don't know. Like, I was confused. I was like, I was thinking like there's a person back there.
Did this person say something? Describe to me what you heard whenever you opened that seat up. What noises?
All I heard was somebody telling me to watch out, and then I heard a gunshot. 2 gunshots.
Tragically, the 3rd victim was determined to be none other than Camille. Her body was discovered 2 days after Layla was found on April 1st. Like Chris said, she'd been shot twice. The location of her wounds indicated that her death had been no accident. It was highly unlikely that Camille had been shot once in the back and once in the head by chance. As soon as she was identified, law enforcement made contact with her aunt, Amy, for a difficult conversation.
So you probably know why we're here, where we've been investigating the incident that happened Friday involving Layla and the other individual that was found deceased.
You know, it took us a little while because we couldn't positively identify her, so it took us a little while. But, you know, we're certain that it's Camille that is now deceased.
Probably to detectives' surprise, Amy remained stoic. As it turned out, she already knew Camille was deceased.
The grandpa of Layla actually came to my house when I found your card, telling me that Camille was deceased, and how are you doing is what he told me. They were talking about
Camille
it at the hospital, that Camille was deceased already. I had a mother call me at midnight last night that, oh yeah, my phone has not stopped.
While Amy tried to come to terms with the loss of her niece, the detectives at the police station asked Chris more about the specifics of Camille's murder.
What happened after he shot her?
He closed it, and we left.
How many times did he shoot her?
Yeah, that's what we're gonna.
I think once, twice.
Well, what is it? One twice. Twice? Okay. Do you know what part of her body he shot her?
No, when I opened it, he go empty, so I looked away.
As if this wasn't horrific enough, Taj put forth an even more disturbing version of events. Predictably, he insisted he was not the shooter. The culprit he named was spine-chilling.
Who folds the seat down?
3-5, because he was on the side, so he hops out of the car, right? He can get out of the car and flip the seat down, boom. hit her once. So he shot her once.
Where did he shoot her?
Oh, I don't know. I couldn't see exactly where he shot her at all. And then she's not dead yet. So Rob sees that and he shoots her to make sure she's dead. So Layla got one headshot and then Camille got two because she wasn't dead yet.
For once, Rob agreed with Taj, at least partially. Before his mom left the police station, he told this to the police.
It was 3-5 that did that. 3-5 dropped the seat and shot the girl, and he shot her in the head. And then Taj like, shoot in the back, shoot in the back. 3-5 dropped the back seat and he shot the girl. She was still alive. He's like, finish her. So he shot her again.
3-5, police knew, was Chris's street name. Still, something wasn't quite right. After getting this far, the police were not willing to accept anything short of the full truth.
Now, Reaper, Rob, there's a lot of similarities that are overlapping here, but there's definitely a discrepancy that Rob told us about what happened to the person in the trunk.
So they're trying to make him the shooter, right? Yeah, that's what y'all leaving out. I mean, be honest. Be honest. We being all being honest here. Just be honest. Is he the shooter? That's what they're saying. That's all y'all gotta do. That's all you gotta do is just say that. I mean, stop going around it.
I can tell you that he is not. You, Chris, are not being blamed for those people in the front seat.
In the back seat is what the trunk. Is the one that
we have some issues with the trunk.
I'm gonna keep it real about. Tell us. Be honest, baby. It's okay.
You're gonna feel so much better. You're gonna feel so much better. You're gonna feel so much better once you talk about what is.
Tell me.
Say it.
Everybody you do it, you gonna kill everybody I know.
So tell us what you did.
You say you gonna kill everybody I know. Yeah. Who made you do it? Who is it? Rob. Rob made you do it? Yeah. He said he's gonna kill everybody you know. Well, who is the X-Man? I don't know who that is.
Now, did you...
Just calm down.
I lead a team focused on safeguarding our networks with real-time intelligence and behavior-based decisioning. But my true passion is supporting other women in the...
Yet again, Rob said something different. Before his mom left the station, he had shared this information.
Taj made him kill the person, or he was going to kill 3-5. Is that what he said? He told 3-5, if you don't kill this girl, I'm going to shoot you in your head.
Let's go on here. He said that he was going to kill everybody you know. If you did fire a gun, tell me about what you did.
I think I shot the girl. I don't know where it was, but and then he came up and shot her too.
Okay.
I'm done.